for sure.
All right. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Vended Thoughts, episode 7. Very special guest, as always, Reyes the Entrepreneur. He has been very successful in the vending machine business, the YouTube online hustle business, as well as the t shirt business. We're going to go over a bunch of things. I'm very excited to talk to you, Reyes. Please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, and what your current hustle is.
All right. Hey, man, thank you for having me. Name is Reyes The Entrepreneur. Pretty much says it in the name. I just love trying so many different things, like you mentioned, shirts, vending, but also eBay, the gig apps, like Uber, Postmates, and I'm pretty much from California, originally from Mexico, but then I had to cross the border. Hey, I'm just playing. I'm legal, guys. I'm legal. And then that's it, man. And now I'm over here just spreading that free 99 knowledge.
Yeah, 100%. Reyes has a cool channel, and his free 99 knowledge he really caught on because he was teaching everyone knowledge that you need to know to start a business from the ground up for free, no courses, none of that stuff. So he really is a hustler, and he's really trying to help as many hustlers out there. Go check him out. Reyes the Entrepreneur, pretty much on all social media, right?
Yes, sir.
Sounds awesome. So go check him out. Go sub. We're going to be talking to him today. Actually, how I met you, we'll go back probably to a funner time on YouTube for me personally. Um, Basically, the vending niche, it started to come up. People started to learn about vending machines, and Reyes was one of the first ones in the niche for essentially the gumball machines, the candy machines. And we connected basically through that, and we've been friends since then. I had hit him up to kind of pay for a sponsorship deal, but then he said, no, let's just be friends. And he ended up giving me a couple shout outs, help me grow a little bit, help me grow to the 1,000 club. There's jackets. I got a free jacket.
Yeah, yep.
But yeah, that's how we met. But tell them a little bit about that come up, I guess, with the vending business because you were doing well before that in the t-shirt niche, but then you
Yeah.
pushed to vending, and I feel like your channel really took on.
Yeah, you know what? One thing I learned about YouTube is if you want to grow, you need to be trying new ideas. And I was known as a shirt guy. That's what really took me from a couple thousand, 2 or 3 thousand, to about 80,000 subscribers. But then after that, the views started going down, started getting stale, and I needed new ideas. I tried eBay, I tried collecting cans, and you know what? I tried vending machines, which is the little gumball candy machines. They call it, I guess, bulk vending. I didn't know that at the time. Because of Mike, Chrome vending. We did an interview when I was doing t-shirts. And then he just said,
Oh,
hey, man, you should get into the gumball machine business. I got into it. Luckily, the first video took off. The second vending machine video, million views. And it was great, man. It gave me that jump from 80,000 to about 200,000, and I just been grinding ever since.
yeah, that's so awesome. I remember that time. I didn't know it was Mike. I still
Yeah,
keep in touch with Mike. He's a good guy. But that is cool, man. And I think you had some really interesting videos. Like I feel like you were a one-stop shop for if you want to start a bulk vending, and then eventually you even got into full line, but it seemed like
yeah.
that just did not work out for you.
Bro, I hated it, man. I had nightmares about it.
Which some people do. I mean, it definitely is a hustle and a hassle. And if you don't put your 800-pound machine in the right location, you're not going to be making much money, you know?
Yeah, a lot of people think that the hard part is getting the machine, a good machine. Nah, the hard part is making money in a good location. That's the hard part.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You honestly, and it's bad to say, but you can put a really crappy machine in an excellent location and do well, but you can't put a crappy machine in a crappy location and do well. So it's a 50-50 battle with the business.
Yep, yep.
But it is fun stuff. Talk briefly on your future plans with YouTube, and then we're going to jump into the questions. But I'm excited to
Yeah,
see what you're doing. You've transitioned across essentially basically I don't know if it was a series ever, but you go with different businesses and you show people the hustle of whether it's a car washing business or
yeah.
different types of online businesses that people do. What are your future plans for that or the channel? Do you have any?
Yeah, man. I have so many different ideas because here's the thing. Like I mentioned earlier, you need to be trying new content. And once the vending machine business videos kind of started going down, losing popularity, I've been just trying new ideas, and one of them was the ride along series, where instead of
Right along.
me starting something which I have no experience or knowledge of, I find somebody who is in that business, like the car detailing business, and then I follow them for a whole day, ask them questions, and see how much they make in a day. And that's just one video series that I like and it's been doing pretty well. I like to consider that my bread and butter for my channel, which doesn't get a lot of views, but it gets consistent views. But now I'm just trying so many different ideas to get that next bump. The next bump that's gonna take me from 300,000 to 500,000. What is that gonna be? We'll find out when I find one, man.
Absolutely, that next that YouTube adrenaline rush, that YouTube virality drug. Because I mean, when
Yep,
you
yep.
hit a video that has a million views in a short period of time, I'm sure it makes you feel a type of way, and you're also making a crazy amount of income.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. Well, the
Yeah.
the money's in the viral videos. But of course, kind of like baseball, you're aiming for a home run, but as long as you get onto a base, you're doing all right.
That's a good perspective, and I genuinely like that because I think I'm on home plate. I still haven't hit that first base, but I am playing baseball, and we will keep playing until we get all the way through.
That's right.
So, all right, man. I mean, let's just dive right in here. This first question I sometimes get some backlash about, but you were in the vending business. You understand the name of this podcast is Vended Thoughts. I need to have at least one vending question in here. So I like to ask, do you like Pepsi or Coke?
Bro, put a coca, just Coke, bro. You know what? I used to work at McDonald's, and people would
It's
be
good.
like, "Hey, can I have a Coke?" And we'll be like, "No, we only have Pepsi." And then they would actually say, "Nah, never mind." And I'm like, "Is there really a difference?" But you know what? There is a difference.
There is, but I think it's just a perspective thing. But Coke, people like Coke just because they kind of are. They have a better marketing campaign. I like
But
Pepsi personally.
you know what? I'm from Mexico, and all we drank was Coke over there.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
you go. um, but yeah. Oh yeah, let's take it back, which is a perfect transition. You worked at McDonald's. I want to take it back to the beginning. Reyes. You started your YouTube channel. You were living in a car, which is unbelievable to see now your success, but a true rags to riches story. Now, in still building in the process of that story, but now with over 350,000 subscribers on YouTube and a full time income from that hustle and other hustles that you've tried. Tell us a little bit about that journey, if you can. I mean, you did document it, so for anyone who's very interested, go back to his first videos. But tell us a little bit about that journey and being in the position you are now.
You know what? I'll be honest. I was 25 and I just wasn't happy with life. I was working a dead end job, no renting a room, not no education really, no real good experience. I just wasn't happy, and I'm like, you know what? I got to make a change. I got to go after something I enjoy, and I'm like, let me try this crazy idea. I'll quit my job. I'll move out of the room and I'll document me being homeless on the beach with just $200 and a car. I didn't have no friends, family, nowhere to stay. I had to figure all of that out on day one. But luckily, I figured it out. And honestly, I did it for video content because I knew I liked teaching. I just didn't know what media or platform I was gonna use to achieve that goal. And luckily, and here's the thing, man, I started YouTube, my first video. I posted it and I'm like, this is about to get a million views. It didn't. It got the most 12 views, and most of them came from me and my family who were really judgmental about my decisions. But one thing figured out was that I really enjoyed making that video, but not just a video, teaching something to somebody. And ever since that day, man, I just stuck with it because right there, even though I didn't get the views, I really enjoyed it. And I told myself, you know what? This is what I want to do. I want to teach people, and I'm using YouTube. If for whatever reason YouTube didn't work out, I'm sure I would have figured something else out to do in the whole teaching niche. But it worked out, man. I mean, 2.5 years later is when I started making money from it. But I stuck with it. I enjoyed it, and I saw it as my passion and mission in life. And luckily, it worked out. But honestly, I'm still in the beginning. I'm still at the bottom, man, and I have a lot more to go. But yeah,
Absolutely.
that's my story. That's my story.
It's a good story, and I feel like it's very moving, and it was moving to kind of watch that journey. I caught you at kind of the end of it. I think you were just starting your t-shirt business, but then I had went back and binged all those videos of you in your car and working and getting in
Yeah.
trouble, like people coming over your car and stuff, and it's crazy. I feel like just for you, for me to go from that to where you are now in a more stable position, in a not financial freedom, but you get to do what you want and you enjoy what you want. The story really just shows anyone, if they set their mind to something, they can achieve it. There's always a risk, but if you don't stop, you could definitely achieve what you want.
Oh, definitely, man. But you know what? It's when you're following your dreams like that against all odds, you just need to start learning who you are and what you're willing to do. Like one big example is I had to be my own biggest supporter and my own believer. And I remember sleeping in my car, and I knew I was lying to myself when I told myself this is gonna work out. One day this is gonna work out. Because deep down, how did he know if it was gonna work out? But I just chose I'm not gonna quit because I know it's gonna work out. And you just kind of have to be that stubborn to just go after your dreams and goals. But yeah,
It's
man, you just gotta figure out who you really are and how far you're willing to push yourself. But let me tell you, I wouldn't do it again.
I don't think anyone would. There's
Nah,
that
man.
quote. I've been rich, I've been poor, but I choose rich every time.
Oh, every
Uh,
single time, bro. Every single time.
that's awesome, though. I mean, it's still an awesome story. So,
Yeah. Uh,
um,
But
what
but you know what? Let
what
me tell you something. You know, you see me with quote unquote success. I don't even think I'm successful. I'm just making decent money. But gosh dang it, I forgot my train of thought. I'm sorry, bro. Keep going. Oh no, 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 no. And I assumed that money was gonna fix all my problems. It doesn't.
doesn't
It just creates new problems you have to deal with. So that's one of the biggest things. Don't use money as motivation to achieve your goals because money isn't going to solve your issues. Actually, it's going to create more problems because now I have to deal with the IRS. I have to deal with paying taxes. Before YouTube, I've never had to pay taxes. I always got money back. But now, got to make sure I got to account for taxes. I got to have the right people on my team to help me with stuff like that. Like, for example, I'm a company now. So I have a company that helps me with payroll, HR, workers' comp. So just want to say, don't do it for the money because you're only going to create more problems. Do something because you love it and it's your passion. And if you could attach a mission with your passion, oh, bro, it's just a matter of time before you hit success.
I really love that. I really do. I think everyone kind of starts the entrepreneurial journey for the money, but then you realize after a while the money comes and goes. It's kind of what you build at the end of the day that stays around.
You know what? Exactly, man. Because I'm sure we'll talk about it later, but I did the t-shirt business for just the money. And I was making about $5,000 in sales, about $3,000 profit a month. To me, that's great. I was doing that full time. But believe it or not, I wasn't happy working those 12 hours, minimum 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. And I'm like, you know what? I have to build something else that I'm happy about. And that's when I started YouTube. And honestly, I'm really happy about doing this. Don't get me wrong, the views go up and down and the money goes up and down. But hey, man, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. That's what it's about. Because if you're not happy, what does money do for you? You don't die with your possessions. You only die with the legacy you left. So you're leaving a very cool legacy. You're a guy
Yeah.
who likes to teach people, and you're helping people start their own hustles. I'm sure you've had a plenty of comments of people saying, "Hey, you motivated me to do this or this."
Yeah, almost every day, man, and I love
Which
it.
is awesome. It's a good feeling. So
It
you keep
is.
doing what you're doing. Let's push on. What is
Yeah.
one piece of advice you would like to give to people wanting to start a YouTube channel? I mean, you spoke a little bit on some things, but what's one piece of advice that you could give someone?
Do it because you love it. Because one thing that all YouTubers go through is they make a video and either they get views and they think they're going to be able to get views every single time, but that's not realistic. Or they do YouTube and it's just taking so long to take off that they don't want to do it anymore. And they're
Awesome.
doing it because of the views, they're doing it because of the fame, the money, whatever reason, but they're not doing it because they don't love it. They need to love it. They need to love what they do. And that's one
Absolutely.
lesson I learned the hard way when I was trying to get regular jobs. Because at one point, believe it or not, Reyes the Entrepreneur, before I was Reyes the Entrepreneur, I was thinking of climbing the corporate ladder. And I was on my way. I was shift manager, the manager, and I'm like, man, I could really make a career out of this. Luckily, it didn't work out, and it took me another path. But yeah, man, that's the thing. You just do what you love. It might not
Yeah, I
even
mean,
be YouTube, but here's the thing: try YouTube. Everybody should try YouTube to see how they feel about it. And
absolutely.
make 10 to 20 videos. If you enjoy making videos, keep going. If you don't, hey, at least you gave it a shot. But now go find something else. Because the only reason I'm a YouTuber is because I tried so many things before that didn't work out. And that was just one of the next things I tried that luckily finally worked out eventually.
Yeah. Wow.
Mhm.
It's true though. It really is true. You have to do it for what you love. That passion at the end of the day, it really drives you through. To
Yeah.
create more videos, to create better videos. Each video obviously has to get better. But I think it's I like the 1.2, and I'd love to add a question at some point on another podcast. But you could have did the corporate ladder, but for some reason life took you on another path. And I think you're probably a lot happier now with what you're doing than if you were on that corporate path. So it's just cool how life does work out. We never really know unless you try.
Here's the thing though, I had quit that job to pursue YouTube. Like straight out
Took a
quit.
risk.
They
Yeah,
offer me
risk.
benefits, the 8 to 5, Monday to Friday, good shift. And I, I remember they offered me that position. But I knew if I had accepted that position, I would have to stay committed to that position for years. And I didn't want that. I wanted to do YouTube. I saw YouTube as something that I really want to stick with, even though it was literally at the very beginning. I'm like, no, I have to stick to YouTube. So I quit and I moved and I started working in the fields. And I felt like I just made the biggest mistake of my life. And I was regretting it. I felt like it was one of the stupidest decisions I've ever made. But I'm the type of person that the past is the past. What am I gonna do? I can't go back. All I could do is just keep moving forward. And I did, man. I just kept moving forward.
That's all it's about. That's awesome.
Mhm.
That's all you can do. And you're going to have to continue moving forward because obviously more subscribers comes more videos and more people viewing your stuff, You have to keep producing more.
Yes,
But
sir.
that leads perfect into this next question because I'm interested if do you believe YouTube uh, as a full time income is sustainable over a long period of time? I mean, you suggested what you did and trying different niches, but I'm curious of your perspective.
Only if you add different revenue streams. Because if you only rely on YouTube ad revenue, no. Like for example, I've made like I've hit up the most I've ever hit was about 20 grand of just YouTube when I had two viral videos. In April, when the coronavirus happened, 3,500. And
Wow.
yeah, it dropped a lot just because my videos weren't interesting or being recommended. Here's another thing about YouTube: you're at the mercy of the YouTube algorithm. So if people aren't interested in the topic you're making videos about, it's not going to promote you. And it's just one of those games you have to play. Either you make super interesting topics, but you might not enjoy it, or you make content that you enjoy, but you already know that it might not get recommended. And that's just the game with YouTube. But yeah, the only way you can make YouTube happen is if you add more revenue streams. And me personally, I have four total revenue streams.
Wow.
Mhm.
See, and I think that's kind of where I get at. And I've had Jaime on, I've had Financial Wolf, Will, some others I'm blanking on at this current moment, but oh, Benji, and everyone has a decent base, but no one tries to rely on YouTube as that one income. It can become that one income, but eventually you still have to produce more content, and it always has to be evolving.
Yeah, man. That's just the game with YouTube, though. We
That's the
the
hustle.
people who
Play the
have
algorithm.
that's it, man. And don't get me wrong, I'm bringing the baseball example back. Just like baseball, you swing, hey, you strike out every now and then. All you could do is just get ready for your next turn.
That's all it is. Every video, you never know if a video is going to do well. You never
You
know.
never know, man. You never know. That's why, like, I've had to really accept and be okay with not getting a banger video every single time. Like me, I already know now. I don't even focus on the views anymore. Where, hey, I'm gonna post a video. I think it's good. Whatever it gets. Hey, I need to start working on the next video, and that's it. That's just a cycle.
And I think that's probably the better way to look at it, because if you look for the views and you don't get the views, then you might not produce that next video. Similar to me in a bit, because my channel, I didn't focus on it for a couple months. Not that it died off. I'm still so grateful. I got a couple hundred views on some of my videos, couple thousand still. But it used to be more in a shorter period of time, but now it's less. But I'm still grateful people are coming in, and at least I'm getting views. I remember when I used to get 5 views, so it's always a progression.
And I mean, you just gotta, not you personally, but anybody going through the same thing. Because look, you say, "Oh, I only get a couple hundred views." How many YouTubers would kill for a couple hundred views? You know what I
A
mean?
lot. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
I see that perspective.
yeah. So it's all about perspective. It's all about where you're at and what you want to do with your YouTube channel. But yeah, man, that's my advice on
Absolutely.
it.
I appreciate it. Good advice, good advice. Now we need to see if do you learn from your mistakes? I was trying to transition there. I'm not good with these transitions, but do you learn from your mistakes?
It's all good, man, and definitely every mistake for me is a learning lesson. Every time a video fails, I try something different to fit what I think was the problem, and that's it, man. You really gotta see failure as lessons, and once I started doing that, that's when I started getting success.
It's very true. And I think I've I knew that in a bit, but I've kind of just realized that because someone else had told me that. But if I didn't fail at I've started a lot of companies, probably 30 plus companies, a lot of which failed. But if I didn't fail at those 10 plus companies, I would not have the backing or the lessons from that to catapult me into other areas. I wouldn't have the success with my online company or my YouTube because I wouldn't know anything about marketing or anything. I've educated myself along the way as I failed too. Those were only lessons though. So I've just been learning through the process, and obviously I'm still not successful. Still there's a lot more room to grow, but it's a good perspective.
And you know what, man? Me too. I mean, everybody sees my journey at 25, but what they don't know is I tried selling chocolate bars at school. I tried starting this and that business with no knowledge and no experience in business. And I fell so hard. And I'm not going to lie, when I was trying to grow businesses in high school, once it failed, I got discouraged and I stopped for a cool minute until something else sparked my interest. I mean, I was going to school to become a math teacher. That's why I was going to college. And I
Wow.
was about to commit to a university. And then I saw how much I was going to be in debt. And one thing I learned from my mom was never be in debt. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to choose entrepreneurship. And sure enough, from 20 to 25, I tried so many different businesses and I failed on almost all of them. Only one really took off, but I was kind of doing illegal things to make it happen. And after I got caught up, I told myself, you know what? I don't know anything about business. And what really helped me out was reading business books and about other entrepreneurs. That really gave me the kind of like I saw business from their point of view, and then
I
that
love
really
that.
helped me out. And
Yeah,
that was it, man. I felt a lot, but I made sure to learn any way possible. And honestly, you could learn anything you want, but if you don't take action and make things happen, you'll never really get that real life experience that you can't learn in a book.
absolutely. The action
Mm.
is a big thing, and even the books. I don't. I'm trying to see if I see the name, but I actually got a book from you. I used your affiliate link. This was probably
Y-
over a year ago, but it was the one-page marketing plan. Is that
Yeah,
does that
yeah, yeah,
sound familiar? Yeah, you highly recommended that, and I had read that book. Amazing book, amazing book. Like your unique proposition, like your value that you provide a
yep,
marketplace, whether as a person or a business. Cool things
yep,
in that book. Recommended to anyone, but super
yep,
cool. And I like books as well, and I think that's the same thing where you're kind of behind the author's mind in a sense. They're putting their mind on paper and you're kind of understanding their perspective for business, and it really does help. But along
it
with the
does.
action thing, and then we'll wrap up this question, because action is the biggest thing. I think, I don't know whatever the quote is, but it's like there's a lot more of something happening in the action rather than the planning. I think I've over planned a lot in my life, but the fact is you have to put that plan to work to begin with. And I think a lot of people focus on the planning and making it perfect, but you don't know if it's perfect until you actually do the action and get something going. You don't know if YouTube would work unless you produced videos. Whether you have a plan to make videos or not, you have to produce the videos to see if it works, whether they're crappy or not. I'm not saying your videos are crappy though. That kind of
Yeah.
came out bad.
No, I got you, man. I got you. And
Yeah,
I believe Mike Tyson said this or somebody, but it says everybody has a plan until they get hit in the face. And that's absolutely right. Because me, I've learned not to focus so much on the planning, but more on executing. That's something I'm still getting better at. Because you
absolutely.
could have a great idea, you could have a full out great plan, but if you don't execute it correctly and learn as you go, you're not gonna get anywhere. And the plans, here's one thing how I see plans. A plan is more of a guideline because I don't know how many businesses I started as one thing and then changed over time from the original plan. So my advice is, of course, have an idea, do research, and have a basic plan, but ultimately get started and learn. And here's the thing. See, I don't really like saying this because I don't like being negative. But people need to understand that hey, your first business, your first 5, 10 businesses, you're gonna fail. But even though you know you're gonna fail, try to learn as much as possible from those businesses. Cause nobody starts off as success, as far as I know. So take everything as a learning lesson.
Absolutely, man. And
Mhm.
I think that's a good perspective to have, and I think people can take a lot of life from that, because you will fail. I failed plenty of times, and I think it's being humble as well, because a lot of people go out and say they're going to start a huge business, but a lot of people are talkers nowadays. So it's a
You
lot
know
better to
what?
show your proof.
And I deal with people like that who have a great idea and they're already counting their millions almost on a weekly basis. But you know
I've
what?
been there though. I've been there.
Oh, so have I, man. You know what? When I was 21, I told myself, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna be a millionaire by 25. I was sleeping in my car with $200 by 25, you know? So life really
Crazy.
hit me in the face.
I
But
like that quote though.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Look it up. I don't know. I don't know who I'm gonna give credit to, but yeah, I didn't make it up. But it's just you have to go through those moments, those humbling moments. Which honestly, at that moment when I lost my eBay business and all the business I tried wasn't working, they sucked, but it really humbled me and taught me valuable lessons that maybe if I didn't go through those things, through those failures, through those horrible times in my business, maybe I wouldn't be the same person I am. And I'm very happy of who I am today.
That's it. I think you become a millionaire by become. I forget the quote with Jim Rome, but it's like you become a millionaire by becoming that person that has $1 million, not by making $1 million, but the person you become.
Oh,
So
yes, because here's the thing, something I learned through books, that money isn't gonna fix your problems like I mentioned, but here's the thing. If you cannot manage $100, you can't manage 1,000, 100,000, or a million. That's why I don't know the statistics right off the top of my head, but that's why most people who win the lottery go broke a couple years later. Just because money doesn't fix the problem, is that they don't know how to manage that money. That's the problem. And
and that's a good
mhm.
perspective because I think it shows you the progression of making money. It stays a lot longer than just making it in one quick hit. Most people who have those viral successes where it's quick overnight, all right, they made $10 million. They usually don't have $10 million in the future because once you get, if you get it all at one point and you don't even know how to manage 100,000, how are you going to manage 10 million? You're going to spend that as well. But if you work yourself up and you're humble along the entire process, you're going to learn that saving is more so how you get really rich. The richest people really just know how to multiply, leverage their money, and save it.
And you know what? Something you mentioned right now also was is the mindset, because I've went through my journey, through my mindset changes, and I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs on a daily basis. And there's some people I've talked to for years, and I've noticed their attitude and the mindset changes. And here's the thing, if you don't start developing the right mindset, you will never be successful. Because and there's no secret. It's all out there. Like for example, one thing that I had to learn the hard way was patience. Not like waiting a week, a month, even a year. You have to wait patiently decades for you to achieve your big goal, and you need to work on it every single day. And another thing is that I'm sure people hear is focus. And these aren't secrets, they're known, but you just have to develop those things. Like I had to develop my focus, and once I really start focusing on one thing and putting the work every day and patience, then I started seeing success. And now that's the same formula I use for everything I do. And I kid you not, it's been working great, man.
That's awesome. That's I think a big lesson. I try to get that out. I think even on these podcasts is success is it's a slow process. And again, you appreciate it a lot more over that long period of time because each little step of the way really teaches you a lot of different things. Each single moment building up to $1 million+, 10 plus $1 million. You have to learn those in between moments. You can't just go, okay, I want $1 million, and then in 6 months, all right, you have it, because you're not going to have all the lessons to manage it. You're not going to know what to do because the more money you have, the more people you're responsible to pay. I mean, that's really it, because you're going to be making money basically by leveraging your time. So that's really the
Yeah.
only way. But let's
Yeah.
transition. Let's go
Yeah.
to what is the happiest moment of your life. Do you have one moment or one of the happy
Oh,
moments?
all right, all right, all right. So I am a dad, and of course, the happiest moment was when my daughter was born. But business wise, was when I was able to quit my minimum wage job at AM PM and go into YouTube full time. Cause here's the thing, I didn't quit YouTube once I started making money. I only quit YouTube once I made enough money to support me and my family. And that took a few months, because you see the money coming in, and then you're like, oh my gosh, that's it, I'm done. But that's one of those lessons that I learned the hard way, that you can't count your eggs until you know for sure. And I
That's a
started
good
making
perspective.
money from YouTube, just YouTube. Made about $500 the first month, but I'm like, no, I need to stick with my job. And then the next month, I made $1,500, and I'm like, I'm making the same at AMPM, but no, it's not enough yet. The third month, because that was when one of my first t-shirt videos really took off, and it changed everything. Third month, 2,500. I'm like, okay, I think I could quit now. And then it just went going up. Don't get me wrong, just like any business, it went up, it went down. At one point, I hit 25,000 in the month. It was in January 2019, best month. After February,
Vending. That
went
was that
down.
the vending? That was the
Yeah,
vending month where
yeah,
I think it was three different videos, and each video making a video about how much money you made in the previous
yeah,
video.
yeah, 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 yeah. So I milked it, bro. I milked it. But
Legendary. And honestly, I think you became a legend for that in the YouTube space. A lot of people kind of try to do those type of videos, and I really do
yeah,
think you kind of started it. I'm not gonna lie. So,
nah, there was another guy. It was a car detailing guy. It was a car
oh, okay,
guy who
okay.
shared how much he made. But then I believe he was the guy who pretty much said, "Hey, I shared how much I made," and then YouTube went after me because he wasn't getting as many views.
Oh
But what
wow.
had happened was, you get a viral video, great, get your 15 minutes, but just know the 15 minutes are only gonna last 15 minutes. Because January I hit 25,000 with all my revenue streams, and I'm like, there you go. I'm balling every month. It's just gonna grow. Nope. February went down to 12. It went all the way down to probably like 5 or 6 thousand, and I was like, "Dang it!" But just like any,
That roller
but that was the
coaster.
first year I was on
Yeah,
YouTube, so I didn't know the busy season and the slow season. But now I
makes
do.
sense. Yeah, wow. You got to
Yeah,
ride those highs and lows. The highs will be high, but the lows could be low. But I mean, at least you're at a base. You're at a base rate,
yeah.
to a
So,
point.
mhm.
That's good. Very good. So you're a hustler and a talented entrepreneur. What do you see derailing your plans in life or on YouTube or business? What can you see derailing your plans?
You know what, man? I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this one, Dominic. Is getting comfortable. I don't
Okay.
want to get comfortable because
Wow.
I know myself. If I get comfortable, I'm a not work as hard, not be driven, and I'm a slow my growth. And here's the thing: I
Yeah.
have momentum, and the worst thing you could do when you have momentum is slow down or stop. And I don't want
True.
to stop right now, but it's very very hard, Dominic. Like I'm fighting it, and I'm making decisions that a lot of people are not gonna like in my circle in my life, but I have to
Wow.
do it to keep me hungry and motivated to get to go to the next step. But that's it, man.
Yeah.
Getting comfortable is one of the things I fear the most.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people should fear that. I think I've been comfortable plenty of times, and being comfortable in any sense, whether it's a lot of money or a little, it's just not a good thing because after that comfort kind of fades, the income also slightly fades because you're putting in less effort to certain things. So there's a lot to go into comfort. I've never heard that, and I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, man.
What do you believe makes a successful YouTube channel?
A
You have a
successful
lot of
YouTube
success, so I'd be curious to know.
adapting to the times. As in, for
Okay.
example, like right
Yeah.
now, if you made a stimulus check video and like people actually like you actually provided value, you will blow up right now. Like there's several channels that are getting hundreds of thousands, millions of views just because they're talking about the stimulus check, but like providing
Wow.
value, not just talking about it, but like, hey, this is what's going on today. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, there definitely
So
has to be a lot of value. Yeah.
yeah, but
Because there's a lot of surface level channels out there, but if you dig a little deeper, you'll get more views.
yeah, so it's all about the topic and be willing to adapt. Like I said earlier, I started with t-shirts and I was known as one of the t-shirt guys. But as the views started going down, I needed to adapt. I need to change. I need to evolve my channel. And I went from a T. And don't get me wrong, I got backlash every single time I tried switching up my channel. But I
Wow.
knew if I didn't change, I wasn't gonna grow. So that's when I tried different ideas. And luckily, the vending machine took me to the next level. But then again, people only want to see vending machine content. And I messed up because I stopped producing what they wanted, and it hurt my channel a lot. But I wanted to be known as an entrepreneur channel, not just about one topic, but pretty much the the small business channel, and that's what I've been grinding for. And luckily now, my audience, they're used to it. Sure, not every video gets a lot of views because a lot of people aren't interested in certain topics. But at least now they know that, hey, Reyes, he's gonna produce different types of hustle. and that's
Yeah.
what I like.
Yeah, I like that. I
Mm.
mean, on two sides of that, adapting is big in business and anything. I think YouTube adapting is more frequent because the trend changes a lot on YouTube. The algorithm is constantly changing, and
Yep.
I think the other perspective is now you've broadened your niche. I mean, in some way, people need to focus on a small niche at first with anything, even a
Yes.
business. You can't just say, I'm going to take down McDonald's and be the best fast food. You have to niche down and be a certain type of food. Same with YouTube, you have to be a certain type of video, a certain type of person. You've had a lot of success with that because you did the free 99 knowledge, and a lot of things kind of just branded you as a person. The gas, what about the gas, So
Yep. Yep. Yeah, man.
um, that's it. That's cool though.
Mhm.
Every step of the way, obviously, you just got to be learning.
Yep.
Well, we know this question. I'm skipping this question. To become the person you want to be, do you have to give up the person you are now?
You know
Curious.
what? I really like that question. And the answer is you don't have to give up who you are, but you will need to uh improve and grow new abilities. For example,
Love
me,
it.
who I am as a person, I'm shy. I love being by myself. I don't really like interacting. Like if I go to a party, I'm the fly on the wall, and I'm having a blast being the fly on the wall. You know, but
Yeah.
in business and trying to grow, you need to become a people person. That's something that I needed to develop over time. How to talk to people, how to make connections, how to create friendships, how to network. So you don't have to give up who you are, but you need to understand what you need to develop, what skills or who you are. You need to know who
Yeah.
you are. You need to know what skills you need to develop, and you need to start developing them. But I don't know
Yeah.
if that's changing who you are or trying to be the best you can. Like for example, me, believe it or not, man, I'm not that funny. I'm not that energetic in my real life. But
Hmm.
when the camera's on, boom, bro, I feel like I just took a caffeine to the head. I have energy. I'm busting jokes. So kind of be your
Yeah.
best self is my advice.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I understand that too. I mean, I think once the camera goes on, maybe most YouTubers won't say it, but there's a little hype that we put in our step in our voice because that kind of is people like that high energy. So that's
Yep.
why a lot
Yep.
of people are more high energy on YouTube. But I like your perspective on the question. It's an interesting question to ask everyone, and I think you're not saying you'd give up the person you are at this current moment, or you don't have to. It's just a matter of equipping yourself with more skills because if you continue to stay with the same skills, you'll have the same life. But if you change your skill set and you learn different things, you could have a better life potentially. So that's
Yep. Yep.
awesome. What motivates you to work on your YouTube channel besides the money? I'm going to make it kind of hard, maybe.
You know what? Just knowing that there's people out there watching and actually getting value from it. Because I'm not out, I didn't start YouTube to make money out of it. I wanted that to be the goal, but my main goal was to teach. And I remember when I was getting a few dozen views, but I knew that at least one person out of those dozen views is getting something valuable from it. And that's what
Yeah.
kept me going, man. If people didn't like it, or if I wasn't able to provide and help people, I would probably jump to something else. But just because I get comments and messages almost on the daily saying, Ray, because of your videos, I started doing this, or it pushed me to do that, that's why I do it.
I love that, and that's a value-driven YouTube channel because you're doing it to provide the value. I think a lot of YouTube channels kind of do the opposite. They kind of put videos out to take from people. You're kind of giving to people, and that's why you've had some success with it. I'm sure.
Yeah, man. But here's the thing. That's where figuring out what you want to do with your life and who you are comes into play with business. Because even before YouTube channel, I loved helping people. Like in school, I'm pretty good at math. So in school, I would let people copy off my paper so I could have the opportunity to teach them how what they did wrong. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was always that person. I didn't care. Like me, I don't care if I make money from it or not because I want to help somebody. I don't know why, man. It's just how I am. I don't know what
Yeah,
happened in my life where that really made me who that person is. But I just love being that person. I love helping.
it feels good, man. It honestly feels good. I help people. I do the videos. I try to impact people with the books, and even
Yeah.
like the charitable things. I give back to people that don't have meals. I think it's me personally. It's 4,000 meals a month, but everyone else who has the boxes, thousands of meals every month. So it's just it feels good.
But
I think that's the biggest thing.
but here's the
It's a
thing.
nice thing.
Something I always have to emphasize when I start talking about me like that, like I don't even care if I make money. This is who I am and I'm comfortable with. I'm not telling people to go out there and give their knowledge for free or help people without charge. They
Very
do
true.
whatever they want to do. But I'm doing this because it makes me happy. And this is what I want to do with my life. And pretty
Yeah,
much, I just want to emphasize that don't do what I do just to do it or get results that I have.
very true.
Do something that you're passionate about. Man, that's it. That's the last time I'm going to say it, Dominic. Do something you're passionate about. That's it. I'm not going to
Yeah.
say no more.
I think it's a good point, man. I think it's good to take a second and pause for the listeners because most people want to it's copycat type of thing. They want to just copy, do what
Yeah.
you do, try to be exactly like you, and they see you've had the success. But anyone copying anything, even like these courses, sometimes if there's a course out there, if you're just learning about a course and paying for it, that knowledge in that video is already too old to apply. You have to be on to the next trend. Your channel was on a new trend. It was you were funny, you were energetic, you were showing an entire process of starting a business. You've had that success because you were unique as Reyes, and being unique in
Yep.
yourself is definitely the biggest thing.
You have to, man.
Definitely.
You have to. Like, believe it or
To
not,
stay
you
ahead
don't
at
even,
least.
yeah, because believe it or not, you don't even know how many times when I go do a ride along with an entrepreneur and we're not even recording and they tell me, Reyes, I thought you were gonna be different from your videos, but you're exactly the same. Well, yeah, because I'm not trying to be fake and I'm not trying to be somebody I'm not. I'm just trying to be my best self when I'm on camera. But yeah, man, that's it. Be true to yourself. You said
Absolutely.
it right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very cool. Um let's see what we got here. What makes you take on and accomplish uncomfortable tasks? So we talked about what motivated you, but there are certainly tasks that you don't want to do or that are grueling. What makes you tackle those uncomfortable things?
It's part of the job, and if I don't do it, the whole goal isn't gonna get done. And the perfect example is the editing a video. I hate with a passion editing a video. I love recording and I love the outcome of having a great video with knowledge. But the editing part, bro, oh my gosh, do I hate it. But I know if I'm not editing it, it's not gonna get done. And I'm not gonna be able to accomplish my goal of making a valuable video. So that's it, man.
Love it.
It just I
I love
focus
it.
on the end goal, and
Yeah,
I've kind of had to train another ability and skill I need to develop was I gotta do what I gotta do to get it done. That's it. It's as simple as that. It's hard, but my mentality is I have to do what I have to do to get it done.
I love that. I really
Mm-hmm.
love that because that's any successful entrepreneur of any feat is living by that exact same thing because you have to be resourceful. You're not going to know how to do everything when growing a YouTube channel or building a business or this. You won't know the perfect ways, but you have to just do it. You have to.
Yep, yep. You have
So
to.
I love that. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? And I think the better part of this question is where do you see the internet and YouTube progressing in the next 10 years?
So 10 years from now, I would love to have my own media company. That's what I'm
Oh,
trying
I
to
love
build
that.
now about entrepreneurship.
I love
And
that.
then that's where I want to be at. Be a real CEO, have a real company, maybe sell it
Yeah.
for a couple million and fucking retire, bro. Fucking dip. That's it. But the
Of course.
internet, you know what? I'm a big believer that VR is really gonna change everything when we really got it down. Like, and the best example I could give was, you remember when we had razor phones back in
Yeah.
the over a decade ago,
Long time
and
ago.
yeah, but we thought that was really good. But I mean, it's not where it's at right now. You get what I'm saying? We could face call, we could download anything, we could look up anything, We could
True.
make money off our from our phones. We couldn't do that
You
back in the
have
day.
you have more power on your phone than the president did 25 years ago.
Exactly. But that's why I think VR is. VR is the Razer phone. It's still young. It does something. But I feel like as technology grows in the internet, bro, you seen Ready Player One, right?
Yeah, it's a bandwidth problem though. Like with it, like with VR, you're always going to be plugged in. They have to make it so you're not plugged in. That's the same with a phone. If your phone was plugged into something constantly, would you use it as much? Probably not.
Nah, but I mean, I'm sure they're gonna figure it out or they're gonna
Yeah.
try.
Oh,
Like,
and they
look,
they have to. They've invested so much money into VR. It's
yeah,
definitely coming, and it's an interesting perspective.
there's somebody out there that's gonna do it. Like back in the day, it's like I remember I was when I was young, I was like, man, if I could only have headphones without the wire, but how is that possible? And now it's the
That's
normal.
common. Yeah, commonplace.
So that's how I feel about it. But yeah, in the 10 years, everybody's gonna be in VR. We're all gonna live in a fucking computer. Bro, I don't know if you cuss
No,
or
it's
not in
fine.
your videos. I'm
No, it's
sorry.
fine. Yeah, it's okay.
You could just bleep that out if you need to. But anyways,
No,
yeah, we're all gonna be plugged in. We're all gonna have a real life in the kind of like Inception. We're gonna live in the VR world, and we're only gonna wake up to sleep in the real world. As I see it.
wow. That yeah, that's heavy. I don't. We'll see how it progresses. I think that's one way that it could happen. We don't know just yet. We're not
No,
sure.
here's the thing: we don't know. In in the 1960s or 70s, they thought we were gonna have flying cars by the 2000s, and look.
No, now we don't. I don't even think it's there yet. I think they actually are abandoning that technology, but
I don't know, man, but the point is that's what I think. But
yeah, and
something I
that
know
we
for
wanted your
sure,
perspective. That's all.
yeah, and one thing I know for sure is that technology is only gonna get more advanced. Who knows? The whole Terminator thing might actually happen one day.
We really don't know. It really could. Who knows
Yeah,
how
yeah.
technology progresses, but we shall
No.
see.
Yep,
And
yep.
what's the biggest struggle that you face as a business owner, either with the t-shirt business, which I think you stopped doing, or with YouTube?
Finding new ways of growing. That's it.
Yeah,
That's the biggest
yeah,
struggle.
yeah.
Because as a business, we try something and we might have some success, but sooner or later, that success either is gonna die out or it's gonna be irrelevant because a competitor might be using the same idea. So, like just trying new ideas, that's the hardest thing. Finding the next thing that's gonna help you grow is the hardest thing because you don't know what's gonna help you grow, and what helps somebody else grow might not help you grow. But it's trial and error for me right now. That's the
That's
hardest thing.
Yeah, research and
Hmm.
development. I mean, that's the biggest cost for most, big companies is that research and development. And obviously, you're not a one man show, but obviously, as a one person entrepreneur, you're not really the CEO. It kind of is hard to do that sometimes. The research and development, the hustle, because you never know what's going to happen. These bigger companies do it behind closed doors, you know.
Yep, yep, you're absolutely right, man.
So, um, but good to know. Let's move on here. Have I mean, but have you ever failed in business before? And can you talk about one of said failures? Maybe not the
Oh
T-shirt. I don't
yeah.
know what else
You know what?
you
Let
have
me
going.
talk about my first big success,
Okay,
which gave me the ego. I thought I knew everything. I thought nothing could ever stop this. And it was selling decals on eBay. And
it
how
was a
I
good
did
business
it
back.
was I would make NFL decals. Decals, the stuff you put on your car window.
Yeah,
That's what I used to do. And I used to
yeah.
sell
That
a
was a
lot of them.
that was a big business back in the day. Even one of my friends did that. You made YouTube
Yeah.
videos on that?
No, 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 it was before
No.
YouTube.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Okay.
When I was when I was going after the money and not the passion. And I just kept making decals and I did it for a year and a half full time. And here's the thing, everybody and their mamas is selling fake decals. But only eBay, they go after the big time people. You know what I mean? Like if you sell one or two decals, nothing's gonna happen to you. They don't care about you. But I was making about $7,000 in sales selling
Wow.
decals. Really good profit. And I don't know if someone snitched me out or what. But here's the thing: I will get a message every now and then. Hey Reyes, this decal violet is a copyright infringement. You need to remove it. I'm like, okay, I'll remove it. And I kept on selling. I guess I got tired of my doo doo, bro, because one day I tried logging in, says my account has been terminated. I tried checking my sales and my messages, wouldn't let me do anything. And I couldn't even respond. And I had a lot of orders. I was selling about 200 decals a day. And
Wow.
yeah, and I was like, what am I gonna do? I can't message the customers. Pretty much all the money was refunded to them. And of course the customers that didn't get their decals because I couldn't even see their address, they left a
Yeah.
bad review that it just ruined my whole eBay business. And not only
Wow.
my eBay business, I got banned from PayPal for life as well. For life, Dominic. I'm like, bro, you guys. I mean, I don't even have a PayPal to this day. I use my
Oh.
girls,
Okay.
but
We're good. We're good. We're good. If PayPal's
yeah,
listening, Musk,
yeah.
void this
But here's the
password.
thing. Here's the thing. That was a real humbling moment. I hated it when it happened because I was spending money, not saving anything because my mentality was, man, this money train is never gonna stop. So I never saved money
Wow.
until it stopped. I didn't have no money saved. I lost my source of income. I moved out of my apartment into my brother's room and I started working at
Wow.
McDonald's. And trust me, it hurt my ego, but I took it as a lesson. It was one of those life hits you so hard that it knocks your head loose. And kind of like my mentality was the reason this failed was because I didn't know how to run a business. Because selling fake stickers is not a business. And I need to figure out how to run a business. So that's when I started reading, and that changed my whole perspective. And the second
Wow.
business, yeah, and it humbled me. And I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right. And I tried a couple other businesses, didn't work, but I took the failures as knowledge, and then I applied what I learned to my t-shirt business. Within 3 months, I was doing it part time. 6 months, I was doing it full time, and then I did it 6 more months full time before I jumped into YouTube. But yeah,
Wow.
that's my little story.
Yeah, I mean it's an interesting point. I didn't actually know that, but
Yeah.
it was an interesting point with the illegal side of things. I think some people do borderline illegal things and they're like, yeah, I have a business, but at the end of the day, you're going to bed every night not knowing if you have a business tomorrow.
Exactly, because they could shut you down whenever they catch you. And
Yeah.
trust me, sooner or later, everybody gets caught.
That's it. That is
Yep.
it. But um yeah, last two questions here. Try to wrap it up. But if we don't get under that hour for the people on IGTV, go to the link on YouTube. It'll be in the description and you can hear the rest of it. But two more questions here, Reyes. This one: what is your big dream? What's your end goal? And what's holding you back from accomplishing these in a shorter period of time rather than a longer period of
Well, my end goal is just to be filthy rich and
time? Just dirty, dirty
not have
rich.
to worry about money ever. Like right now, I get my bills paid. I pay myself a decent amount. My family doesn't need anything, but I know I'm only one, maybe two bad things from happening, two rainy days to go broke. You know what I mean? I want to
Yeah.
be in a situation where even if I have 100 rainy days, I'll still have money. How much money is that? I don't know. I'll let you know when I get there. And the only thing that's stopping me from achieving that goal or quicker is that I don't have a team. Cause how you mentioned earlier, I'm a one man thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have two freelancing editors and one freelance virtual assistant, but no like full time employees. And
Yeah.
that's what I need to start looking. But here's the thing: I don't know what employee I need next. Do I need a manager? Do I need a social media manager? Do I need a PR manager? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
that that's where I'm kind of breaking my head and don't really know which direction I'm gonna go. But that's why I need to figure out next. But yeah, that's what's slowing me down. That I don't have a team around me that's helping me move, even if I'm not producing videos or working on the business myself, which is
Yeah,
hopefully my next goal.
I love that. And honestly, me too, to a degree. You have to think about a business as kind of like a baby in a sense. And I've read this in a book somewhere, but you raise a baby, morphs into a teenager, then into an adult, and then basically they're on their own, going through life and everything else. Same with a business. It's a little baby. You got to nurture it up until it's an adult and it kind of run itself without your supervision. That's really the time where you're successful as a business owner, when you don't have to have your input in that business every single day.
Mhm. And that's why I
So
want to build a media company where I could have camera people, editors, a producer, pretty much do everything without me having to be in it. And
yeah,
of course, I still here's the thing: I can't
you'll
just
be
jump.
there.
I've I've learned this the hard way. I can't just jump into it without any knowledge. I need to go get experience somewhere. And that's why I really making a move to LA where things like this, I know COVID kind of slowed things down, but ultimately that's where things like this are happening every day. And that's where the networking comes in. And that's where creating friendships come in. Because I need to learn that business. Because that's pretty much my company and an entertainment business. And
Yeah.
yeah, man, that's where I'm at.
That's awesome. And I mean, it's cool that you probably didn't think you were going to want to start an entertainment business until probably after YouTube. Maybe you did, but again, making the YouTube videos is also giving you experience. You need to think about it that way, because you're learning how to deal with the public. You're learning how to put videos out there that people like. So your media company will somewhat have some Reyes genetics to it in terms of being funny or whatever it is, and you can brand Reyes into that media group. So they all play their role, and I can't wait to see that progression, even your progression from the beginning of your channel to now. There's been a lot of
Thank you.
progression. So,
Yeah, thank you.
um,
Thank you.
no worries, no worries. Last question here, and then we'll wrap everything up. But for the listeners out there, a lot of entrepreneurs on this channel, what do you believe is the most powerful quality of a successful entrepreneur?
Someone who's not willing to quit. That's it.
Yeah,
If I see somebody that might not be in the right place in life, they might not have the money or resources to make things happen, but they're trying, that's they're gonna be successful eventually. Someone who just stubborn about it and say, I'm gonna make this happen. But there's people who say, I'm gonna make this happen from their comfortable life. And there's people who say, I'm gonna make this happen when they're going through the struggle. When they're going through the struggle and they're saying they're gonna make it happen and they're serious about it, that's what it takes. They're gonna be
that's
successful one day.
Yeah, a true commitment to the path, because you're gonna try to do things, you're gonna want to do things, you're gonna set goals, and you're gonna fail right on your face. You're gonna get punched in the face, but it's what happens when, after you're being punched in the face with your business, failing over and over again, are you gonna get back up, and how quick are you gonna get back up? There's a big bounce. One of my first major failures, I there was like a solid year bounce before I bounced fully back.
And you know
Sometimes,
what? That's
but you got to be
yeah.
happy, and it's part of the process.
You know what? And that's what it takes. Like you said, it took you like a year to bounce back. From the time I lost my eBay business to the time I was able to do my t-shirt business full time, took me 2 years.
Yeah.
And
It is
that's just how it takes.
it's the best humbling experience though, because if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't be the person I am today, hands down.
Exactly, man. So right there with you. I'm right there with you.
And that's exactly it. We're gonna keep growing, keep hustling, and great conversation. It was very nice talking to you, Reyes.
Thank you.
For those that didn't hear it in the beginning and that are still listening, we appreciate you. Go check out Reyes the Entrepreneur. It's basically his ad on all social media. Check him out on YouTube. He's got some awesome videos that could teach you, how to start a nice, solid business. A lot of advice. And yeah, Reyes, close it up. And thanks for coming on.
Hey man, thank you for having me. Yeah, if you guys want some free 99 knowledge, and here's the thing: not only do I show the good, I also show the bad because I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just trying to give you options so you could figure out what you want to do. And trust me, my channel has dozens of different hustles you could learn from and pick from. But go show me some love on social media. Dominic, once again, thank you for having me. And I had a great time, man.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much, man.
All right.